Is the Dodge Viper still a bang for the buck? Now, I'm not just referring to the Gen 2 in particular. I'm talking about Dodge Vipers across the board. Whether you have a Gen 1 or you have a Gen 5. Stop sign, lady. Stop sign. I remember shopping for my Gen 1 so many years ago. It wasn't that many years ago. When prices had pretty much tanked, and saying to myself, wow, what a steal. You can find many Gen 1s back then in the low 30s, high 20s. My specific Gen 1 was in the high 20s, and I just couldn't believe the price. I remember saying to myself, something has to be seriously wrong with that car. I compared it to prices of other Vipers within the same year and mileage, and they were pretty much similar, high 20s, low 30s. The mileage on that car was low 30,000. Keep in mind, this was when prices were extremely low, rock bottom for Vipers. I think I picked the car up in 2014, maybe 15. I want to say 2015. And back then, even the Gen 2 GTSs could be had in the low 40s. Some were in the high 30s. Few, but they were out there. Gen 3s were selling for about the same price as Gen 1s. Low 30s all day. For a pristine example of a Gen 3. Which is just incredible to me. Which was good for if you're in the market for a Viper, but terrible for those trying to make a buck off their Viper. Most Gen 4s could be found in the 60s back then, and then the awesome badass Gen 5s came on the scene, what, 2013 I believe it was. A lot of them were six-figure cars when they came out. Of course, low six figures, okay, not a big deal. But a few years into their production, you can find used examples in the 80s, some in the low 70s, which, if you're looking at today's prices, a Gen 5 in the low 70s is a bargain, a huge bang for the buck. Like I said, got my Gen 1 in 2015. So you fast forward 5-6 years later to present time, and if you look at the market, it's a whole different story. Now, I am aware that prices on sports cars across the board have shot up. But right now, those days of cheap Gen 1s in good condition are long gone. You are not gonna find a Gen 1 that's not clapped out for anything under 40K. Right now, Gen 1s are averaging low 40s, mid 40s, which, yes, to me, still a good deal. That's fair. Gen 2s, oh shit. Gen 2s, RT10s, high 40s, touching 50. Then you have the Gen 2 GTSs, which are kind of asking ridiculous amounts right now for what it really is. Currently, if you watch the market, if you shop around, you'll see there's a lot of Gen 2 GTSs going for well above 60K, 70K. Some people had the audacity to list their Gen 2s for $80,000, which as an owner, I'm happy about that, because in the long run that's going to benefit me. But at the same time, I'm like, bruh, who are you trying to fool here? Gen 4s, specifically the ACRs, a lot of them are six-figure car now. The majority of them seem to be going for 80 and 90,000 for regular Gen 4s, and Gen 5s, which kind of gave me the idea for this topic. Gen 5s, ever since the market started since the value started appreciating, they have gone from averaging in the 80s and 90s to averaging 120K, 130K, and now they're well over 150,000, 180,000. Some Gen 5s, ACREs specifically, are going for over $200,000. Now, say I'm in the market for a Gen 5. Let's imagine that I actually can afford a Gen 5. Or say you can afford a Gen 5. I know most of you can. I'm looking at a car and it's listed a high, like almost 200K, a little over 200K. Now, why would I purchase that when that is Lamborghini Murcielago money? That is Lamborghini Huracan money. Actual supercars. I'm not sure if you're too familiar with the Murcielago market. Now that car has appreciated like a mofo. Now I know I come off like a Viper hater in a lot of these videos. I'm not. I love the cars. This is my 6th year of Viper ownership. I've owned 3 Vipers before. I obviously love the cars. The biggest thing I loved about them was the bang for the buck, which is no longer there. So if you were to ask me, is the Dodge Viper still a bang for the buck? I'm gonna have to say no. It's not a bang for the buck. It's still a great car. It's an amazing car. But the bang for the buck is gone. It's long gone. I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm happy values are climbing. For me as an owner, that's beneficial. But for everyone else, the longtime fans that have been shopping around, hoping one day to attain their first Viper, it's now, the Viper is slowly but surely becoming unattainable for many. And that's really sad, because a lot of people won't be able to experience what you and I have experienced for so many years. But yeah, that's my thoughts. It's just my opinion. Chime in below, let me know what you think. Do you think the Dodge Vipers are still a bang for the buck, or has the market absolutely lost its mind? Me personally, I would say prices for Gen 1s are fair. Prices for Gen 2s averaging, they're okay. They're not a good deal. They're not fair. They're a little marked up still. Gen 3s are pretty fair. I've seen the prices of Gen 3s. That's good. I would gladly buy another Gen 3 for the prices right now. Gen 4s, the bang for the buck is gone. Gen 5s, that's unobtainium. It's not what I'd call fair. But yes, chime in below. Let me know your opinions. What you think. Which cars do you think is still a bang for the buck? What do you think about Gen 5 prices and all that good shit? If you enjoyed my video in any way, shape, or form, please share, like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch y'all cats later. Peace and chicken grease.